Welcome to the show. This is No Interference. We are your hosts, Westside, Big Sass, and the Bull. We're coming down to the end of the season here in Week 18. We got some, scheduling stuff to talk about, but there was some pretty tragic news that happened on Monday night. Everybody was watching the game. For sure, everybody's heard about Damar Hamlin making a tackle and then going through cardiac arrest right there on the field. Had to be resuscitated twice before I think he even made it to the hospital. So never really seen anything like that personally. It was kind of shocking to see.
At least he's doing better now.
So yeah, updates today. Actually, he'll be opened his eyes a little bit. He can. Apparently, he was writing messages. Well, I saw the one thing. His first message was, "Who won the game?"
And the doctor said he won the game of life.
Yeah, that's kind of Doctor's like, what really matters here. But yeah,
that was probably the first. Obviously, it seemed like every day the news was a little bit more promising. But when I read that today, I was, brings you a little bit of a smile when he's like, who won the game? Now, obviously, he's got some hurdles to jump still, and they're still doing testing. I think he's still listed as critical condition. But
I think he's still on the
ventilator
he still needs assistance with breathing or something.
Yeah, I think they said his lungs are still healing.
Mm-hmm. At first, he needed 100% oxygen, but now, I don't know about right now, but the next day, I think he was already to 50% with the machine. So it's all good signs.
I think one of the main things you're concerned about with anything of that nature, heart-related, or your heart stopping, is brain function afterwards. And from what they're saying, it sounds like that might not be an issue. I mean, time will tell.
Well, I think it's because
promising.
I think a lot of it has to do with the trainers giving him immediate
CPR.
Yeah, just immediate medical help.
Well, I've been hearing it all week. Where are the two places that you want to be in when you have a serious injury? Either in the emergency room already, or the waiting room, or on a football field.
Because of all the medical staff they have just sitting around waiting.
Yeah, like they obviously have all the equipment. I mean, usually, not the Titans, but every other team has really good training staff and doctors and stuff. But obviously, those people deserve to be
commended
for their efforts.
Agreed. It's crazy.
Yeah, so they're
definitely like one of the top. I mean, it probably is the most shocking thing I've seen on, like, in sports. Personally,
it's probably the worst. Go ahead.
I had the game on right here. I was working on some stuff, and I had it on my left monitor, and I wasn't watching the game, so I didn't see it happen. But I heard Joe Buck say something about CPR, and then I looked up, and then it was like panning to all the players, like their faces so concerned, like Josh Allen with his hands on his face. And then I was like, whoa. And I stopped what I was doing. My palms started to get sweaty. I don't know why, but it was just, you don't expect to see something like that in a 24-year-old athlete, and definitely sad to see. But
yeah, it's probably the worst football injury I've seen. And then for all this time, the worst one I always said was the when Leon Washington broke his leg when he was on the Jets, and the camera was really slow.
Return, right?
The cameras were really slow to cut away, and they showed a replay because I don't think they realized it, and basically replayed his leg breaking, and you saw the bones like shooting through, and I almost threw up.
Oh,
and that was like 12, 13 years ago, and this finally topped it.
Yeah, obviously this one, because this one was the most startling and shocking and scary, I guess you could say, because it wasn't that crazy of a play. He stood up and then he just fell over, and then obviously it was life or death. These other plays that are probably the most anything else to compare to that is mostly probably just gruesome injuries, like that one for instance. Kevin Ware for
Louisville.
breaking his leg on the court with the bone
That's pretty
coming
gross.
right out. Yeah, like those are all shocking moments in sports, but
the other
those
thing
are
was
gruesome type injuries, not
we had
death situations.
We had it seemed like 5 commercial breaks, and every time they came back, he was still like on the ground. And there was so little updates, and it was a cut to commercial, come back, and all they would show was like, they would cut to Sean McDermott. Looked like he was like just praying on the sideline. Then it cut to like Josh Allen covering his face. Then it cut to Tre'Davious White and Tre'Davious White and Stephon Diggs crying, and then go to commercial. And you come back and what's his face? Joe Buck and what's his face were basically just like, still not sure what's going on down there. And then they'll cut to commercial and come back, and I would be like, is he still on the field? And then at that point, the Bills players all basically made a wall. And then Troy Aikman was like, I think I saw them giving him CPR. And then I was like, that's when I was like, oh my God, what happened? Because at first I thought it was like a neck injury and they're just trying to stabilize him. Because that can take a while. But as soon as he said CPR, that's when I was like, oh, this is pretty serious.
Yeah, because when you look at the initial hit, I mean, obviously at that point nobody knew what made him fall. But when you look at the initial hit, it doesn't look like it wasn't anything. That was an ordinary NFL play. It was routine. But then he stands up and falls over. You have no idea why.
Yeah.
And then you find out he was resuscitated twice, and his heart just stopped. Which I have heard. Obviously, we've probably all heard in our days that if you hit somebody hard enough, right in the chest where the heart is, that it could stop.
Well, so the injury that he had, I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the medical term.
Is it for sure what even happened?
It's speculated because he could have some underlying medical problem, but they were saying, assuming he's healthy, they were guessing what it was, and they were saying it's the injury that you more so see it with like baseball or lacrosse, where a small projectile that's going 100 miles an hour hits you in the chest, and that's why I don't know, it was about the time where I think when we were all younger playing lacrosse, there was a lot. It wasn't a lot, but there was it was happening enough that goalies were taking shots to the chest and dying on the field, which is why now lacrosse goalie pads have that reinforced right on your chest piece, where your heart would be, to prevent that. Same thing with I guess catchers in baseball, or maybe if you take a line drive off the bat. So they're just saying it was just the perfect, not perfect, probably a poor word. It was a very unfortunate contact at the
time
least unfortunate place to cause this storm that led to him going into cardiac arrest.
So a perfect storm is the unfortunate storm.
Yeah.
Yep. Glad to hear he's making progress, and wish nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, I think the NFL was trying to cover up their initial statements when they said they'll give everybody 5 minutes and then resume the game. And then they came out and they said, "Oh, we had never said that. We had no intentions of resuming the game tonight."
The thing with that is if anybody who's saying that was Roger Goodell's or Troy Vincent, is he the NFLPA guy?
Yeah.
I don't know how they could have. I think that what most likely happened was that the refs and the NFL, what's the word? The NFL, the person at the game who's probably has the most
their rep or whatever.
The NFL rep at the game, because obviously there's one for every game. They probably were what's the closest protocol for this kind of situation? Because the ref's not going to be call the game. and they don't have phones on the field or anything. Well, they do have phones on the field. I don't know.
They're not supposed to.
I tend to believe they were probably defaulting to what they thought would be the decision, which then it seems like Sean McDermott and Zach Taylor decided, like, no, we're going to go to the locker room. And then there were phone calls made. So,
I mean, once you get off, even before they get off the field, this is taking the whole mental trauma out of it. From a physical standpoint, if you've been warming up to play a game, again, RJ probably knows about this. You've been warming up to play a game for like 2-3 hours, and then you sit around doing nothing for 30 minutes, and you go to hop right back into the game, you're probably popping something.
Yeah, I mean, physical, mental, the whole deal.
That's like with the baseball players. If they warm up a pitcher and they don't end up using them, they'll just sit him back down and they'll just have him not come out because he already warmed up and then went cold again, and then the risk for injury is like significantly higher.
Yeah. Now going forward, does the NFL do anything? Is they're going to change the chest pads now or do anything? Because this really is a pretty rare occasion. I've never seen it. I know I've heard about high school players dying from stuff before for football, but
I would say
dehydration.
100% they don't, because the NFL, well, one, I'm pretty sure this is the first time this type of thing has happened. Two, concussions are a much more prominent issue, and there are helmets that are proven to significantly reduce your chances of suffering a concussion, and the NFL, under the current collective bargaining agreement, cannot force you to wear those helmets. So hardly anyone does.
It's fair.
It was just like, look at training camp when they had those helmet pads.
Yeah, those things look
and
crazy.
Half the players were just making fun of them and not wanting to wear them. Jason Kelsey was walking around with his head bubble wrapped.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was fun watching the Hard Knocks, and you heard a lot of the Lions players talking about it.
Well, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but and I'll take sidetrack. But they're like, if you wear that helmet pad, your chances of a concussion go down 25%. And then if you and the guy that hits you is also wearing it, the chance of concussion goes down like 50%.
I guess it's good for practice, but they don't wear them in the games.
Maybe one day.
Oh, God. Poor lineman.
Oh, yeah. Offsides. False start.
Well, I swear I see more concussions. You see more concussions with running backs, wide receivers, DBs, and linebackers than you do linemen.
Well, linemen are constantly, every play, smacking each other in the face. That's probably worse than getting one bad concussion.
Yeah, or maybe just give them some metal gloves and leg sleeves so they don't keep rolling their dang ankles and breaking their fingers.
Yeah, until you get smacked with that.
Most offensive linemen are double knee braced, knuckles, hands taped. Like, that's, talk about like worst jobs in the world.
Yeah,
that's not even comparison, but like that's got to be a tough job.
Yeah, just I feel like they wake up and their hands are just like, ugh. They have to like stretch out their hands.
And get them. Baldy, he's like,
crack them.
If you watch, never mind.
Brian Baldinger.
Take my good hand.
Is this a Scary Movie 2 reference? Ooh, my turn.
Oh man,
good times. All right. Well, moving on. We do have some juicy Week 18 matchups. A lot of playoff implications. Of course, the last game of the season, which is the first time we've ever gone 18 weeks. Nice little extra week of football. Get used to this. Might as well make it 20, right?
Didn't we go 18 weeks last year? No, we didn't.
No.
This is the first year.
This is the first 18, yeah. They did add the extra playoff team a couple years ago is what it was, I think. That's what you're thinking.
Wait,
last year was 18? No, last year was 18 7 weeks.
Right? Was it 18 last year?
Yeah, because records like Cooper Kupp almost broke the record, and everybody was like,
"Oh yeah,
18
okay."
Games.
It is the second season.
The only one here that knows stuff.
Shush. Just kidding. User error cannot compute. Anywho, so technically, I guess we can get into the matchups plus at the same time talk about those playoff implications.
Can I ask a question?
No, you can't ask a question in a podcast.
But you're the hostess with the most.
Of course, you can ask a question. What am I? I want to be a teacher. God, make me feel old.
Well, I was gonna ask before we jump into games in particular, or the playoff
implications.
Yes. I need you guys to save me when it takes more than 3 seconds for a word to come to my head. Jump in.
I generally try to.
I'm usually not going to bail myself out. But what do you think about because obviously this whole week they didn't release the schedule until Monday or Tuesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. Is there anything you don't like, or anything that you do like a lot?
I don't mind one of the changes, but I know people are mad. Moving the Titans-Jags game to Saturday, because
I mean that's a playoff game already, so that should be what everybody wants to watch.
Well, not about making it a prime time, but moving it up a day earlier, because it is essentially a playoff game, and the Titans already are coming off Thursday Night Football, so they already had extended rest. And they move up a day, so now the Jaguars essentially have one less. I mean, it is a home game, so they don't have to worry about travel, but it is one less day to get ready for the game. And you could say, well, the Titans, it's one less game for them anyway, but the Titans played on Thursday night, so they've already had the extra day.
I mean, it's no different than like the Christmas Eve games.
Yeah, but those are set that way. This game was moved to Saturday.
Well, if the Jaguars can't handle that in preparation, they don't deserve to win.
Fair enough.
Doug Peterson's been there, has done that.
While we're on that topic, if the Jaguars do go to the playoffs, is Peterson Coach of the Year?
I don't think so. You got Brian Dable before him, and then Dabble, whatever, and then there's still other coaches. I'm saying before him. Okay, relax, Sirianni lover. Jeez.
I don't know how it's anybody but Sirianni.
Only time I've ever seen it give him out to the coach with not the best record as well, I think, is this. You see that in Madden, which is a fantasy world, so don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, I mean, people's perception of the Eagles is for some reason different after the last 2 weeks without the starting quarterback.
Yeah, which proves also a different side of that story. Jalen Hurts MVP combo.
Yeah, but no, Doug Peterson, good year. I mean, he looks good for getting Trevor Lawrence looking like a number 1 overall pick. So good for them.
I agree. Good year.
We'll see if they're actually ready for the moment on Saturday.
Is there longevity here too?
Find out next year.
We shall.
Tune in next time.
So I like the Lions Packers flexing to the night game on Sunday, because it's going to be a great game in my opinion. I think the Packers have found a little bit of a stride, and the Lions offense has been on pretty much all year. The defense does give up a lot of points, but the Packers defense ain't that much to write home about. So I think it's going to be a bang game. Be nice if the Lions win. Just because, it was the last time they've been to the playoffs.
Well, the thing about
Aaron Rodgers is always there, so
yeah. The thing about this game, I like the matchup too, but if the Seahawks win at 4:00, the Lions can't make the playoffs.
I forgot. No matter what, the Lions need the Seahawks to lose.
Yes, but on the flip side of that, what's their coach's name? The Lions, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell. If anyone can, I feel like they'll treat it like a playoff type game anyways.
Well, he's
so
going to
I'm not
want
really worried
to,
about that.
even if the Lions get eliminated, he's going to want to knock out the Packers.
That's another good point.
But
I'm hoping that the Seahawks lose, though. Well, for being a fan of watching football, I want the Seahawks to lose to see that matchup. But the flip side of that, all of that, is if the Packers get in, as an Eagles fan, I don't want to play them.
you don't want to play the
Packers should win.
Seahawks?
No, the Packers.
He doesn't want to play the Packers. That's because
Yeah, I mean, the
Packers
the
don't play.
Packers last few weeks, their defense has really turned it up. And having
I just don't want to play Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, having Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson on the field at the same time has basically completely changed their offense. It's the run game is still there, but having two pretty even though they're both rookies, this could be one of the better rookie receiver drafts by a single team in a while. They're both playing well. They're both big-bodied. Dobbs is a little more polished. Watson's that freak athlete type. And then, like you said, it's Aaron Rodgers, so I wouldn't want to mess with him.
Did you see that thing that was going around the internet today? Wait, it's not the Lions receiver. He's on the Giants now.
Slayton?
Who's the?
Oh no.
Holiday.
Yeah,
he has to get 76 catches in this game.
Oh yeah, Galladay. I did see that.
Galladay.
Yeah, Galladay get his $750K bonus. Yeah, sorry, bud, you're missing out on that quiche.
So funny.
If I were the Giants, I would call receiver screens to him every single play of the game, and then when he gets to like 74, I would bench him.
That's just disrespectful. He just runs on the field, and the ref doesn't notice 12th man. He just snatches the ball midair from somebody. All right, moving on. So, no, this is the first week we don't have a Thursday night game. It feels weird. I don't like it.
I didn't even think about that.
Football's coming to an end.
We don't have to record and try and follow a game at the same time like we have a few times during Thursday nights.
Most every Thursday night this season, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not to sound
have it on
selfish,
my phone on the side. Not
to sound selfish, but that would have been tough to record if that happened. What happened on Monday happened on Thursday when we usually record. Like we would have had to scrap that.
And pause.
Yeah,
probably. What's going on?
Yeah. Anyways,
because it's good we record on Thursdays. So we do have 2 more Saturday games this week. This is the second time this year we've got Saturday games. Wasn't a fan of the last one because my team lost, but it's besides the point. For the first match at 4:30, what you guys say, Westside?
Oh, I was just gonna say the Chiefs Raiders. Chiefs get the win and they clinch the number 1 seed. I think now that the Bengals Bills game isn't going to be played.
You got cheese on the mind. Call you a cheesehead. All right, yeah. Chiefs, opened it up at 9.5. They're still 9-point favorites. I think that's pretty easy to say they could cover that against this abysmal Raiders team. Even though Jared Stidham did come in last week and slang that thing, make Derek Carr probably cry on the bench over there.
Did you see Josh Jacobs is questionable though?
He did. I did not see that. That sucks. It's also kind of typical Josh Jacobs every year so far. It's been his biggest downfall has been injuries.
He probably doesn't want to play. He wants to get his contract.
Yeah, or he's going to go somewhere else.
He's going somewhere else. There's no way.
I swear to God, if Washington goes after Derek Carr,
on the wall.
I'm stabbing somebody.
Yeah.
Leave Derek Carr alone. Let him float out there for a while. Collect himself.
Yeah, I mean, this game's a Saturday game because of the Chiefs. I mean, people watch the good teams in the league.
Yeah, it's a division game too. Still, at the end of the day,
Well, yeah. I mean, I think this game's more for the casual fan, and then the Titans Jaguars game is more for the real, like, hardcore NFL fan.
Yeah, and as Ted
Because like a
mentioned, the Chiefs
casual
win.
fan is going to be looking through their guide, and they're going to be like Titans Jaguars, but they're going to be like Chiefs Raiders. Patrick Mahomes.
That's fair. That's fair because the diehards know that the Titans Jags means major playoff implications for the AFC. So we know if the Chiefs win their first seed, good for them. Yippee blah blah. Chiefs this, Chiefs that. I'm over it. Hate the Chiefs.
Well,
almost as much as I hate the Cowboys.
What do you guys think of? So the reports are that the game's not getting made up, right?
That's
correct.
what I saw today. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Am I jumping the gun too much here?
No, we can go into it.
I was gonna say, how do you? Because I thought about it because the Chiefs are the number 1 seed now. Like, how do you feel about that? Because the Ravens they have no chance to win the AFC North.
Nope. Tough luck.
So, like, yeah,
but
sucks.
I mean, they already clinched the playoff berth though, so at least they know they're going to the playoffs.
I'd rather
they
have
clinched that like 2
home
weeks
game.
ago. Yeah, but you also rather have a game.
Well, yeah. Lamar's not playing anyway, so good luck.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm still really concerned about that whole situation.
Yeah. Sorry,
is he just going to sit out the rest of the season? Or
we're off the rails.
Sorry,
yep, Trevor did it. I'm
sorry.
going.
Go into your sequence.
Well, so we didn't have Chiefs, like we said. We talked about them, but later on that day, 8:15, Titans Jags winner chicken dinner. Take everything home for the division. Ain't sharing no leftovers.
We already talked about Doug Peterson. If they win, if he's coach of the year, I think. Well, you're the Titans fan, Taylor. Is Derrick Henry playing?
Yeah, they said he's full go. So other than players on IR, the Titans only have one player ruled out, which is good. I'm a little bummed because I was hoping David Long has been on IR, and they've apparently been saving that spot for this game, and it's looking like he's not going to be available, which sucks. He's the Titans' by far best linebacker, best coverage linebacker. But yeah, I think are the Jags their 6-point favorites? I think
6.5. Yeah,
6.5. This would be this. I'm really hoping. Like, I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood. I'm hoping for like another Derrick Henry miracle, like 200 and like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, well, let's just hope they give him at least 20 carries, at the very minimum. But
last time you guys faced off against the Jaguars, he was going off in the first quarter, and then injuries, turnovers. What was the deal?
All of it.
Yeah.
No,
the Jaguars were winning by a significant margin.
The Titans were driving at the end of the half, and they were like on the 15, probably about to score, which would have made it like a 21. I think 21-7. I think, and then Henry fumbled. Oh, they made it 21-10. Henry fumbled. Mm-hmm. The Jags drove down, scored a touchdown as time expired to make it 17-14. Got the ball after half, scored, made it 24-14, and then ended up being like 30-17. I think 38-17 by the end.
So it got away quick when it started.
Yep.
I say anything's possible with these Titans or Derrick Henry in these divisional games. It just seems like at any moment he could bust off 250 and 2 touchdowns.
Well, I do agree with that, but at the same time, I'm not a big fan of this Josh Dobbs guy getting the start.
He looked good against the Cowboys.
Yeah, just in general.
So my
Jaguars.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I would say the Jaguars are rolling in hot. It's gonna be tough. Trevor Lawrence stays on. Too hot.
Can't stay hot forever.
So my initial
It's true.
reaction when they said they're going to stick with Dobbs, I'm like, so. And give me a second to get through this thought that they were going to. So if they win, they're obviously going to roll with Dobbs into the playoffs. And I'm like, well, now you're taking away valuable playoff experience from Malik Willis. But then I thought about it a little bit more, and I'm like, Titans might be in the market for just a couple quarterbacks this offseason that are high profile. So Malik Willis could be, he's raw enough and young enough to sit for another couple years. So that was my full thought process today. So I'm like, oh, well, he's probably fine if he sits.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I like Willis. I think the potential is there. I just don't think he's ready. And the offense just looked so much smoother with Dobbs playing against the Cowboys. But the one thing I'm hoping for is the Titans D-line. Well, it's not, because Bud Dupree's a waste of space. He needs to be. I think he's going to get cut after this year if possible. I don't know the cap implications. He literally just sprints upfield, and he only ever gets sacks if Derrick Henry and Danico Autry chase the quarterback, and the quarterback just turns and runs right into Bud Dupree.
You meant Jeffrey Simmons. It's a Derrick Henry.
Oops. But Danico Autry, it sounds like he's fully healthy. Jeffrey Simmons has been playing like the last 7 weeks on like a destroyed ankle. I'm hoping taking last week off and having the extra long wait time between games is going to help him be back to full Big Hefe ability where he can get 3 sacks in a game or something. That's what the Titans would need to pull an upset to make Trevor Lawrence miserable,
which would be key to a upset victory. And then you guys get the division, right?
Yep.
And then you can make the playoffs.
Winner take all, and then gets a home playoff game.
Gotta love that. All right, well, moving on to Sunday, the 1:00 slates. First up, we got the Buccaneers-Falcons. The Bucs already clinched the division, so this game really doesn't matter. I don't think even for seeding-wise, does it?
No, because the Falcons are done, and the Bucs, they can't. They're stuck in the fourth seed.
It'd be funny if they go in the 4th seed at 8-9, doing what the Washington football team did in 2020, winning the division at 7-9, and giving the Bucs a run for their money.
Yeah, the Bucs are going to be coming in 4th seed, either 8-9 or 9-8, and they're going to upset the Cowboys.
Love to see it. Especially because the Cowboys are overrated. Anyhow.
The Buccaneers, my only thing, I have no faith in them, really. The only thing, they have the Tom Brady effect, is which I think the only reason why anybody would pick them over potential Cowboys or worst case scenario Eagles matchup. I just don't think they're off. It would take a Tom Brady 3 touchdown heroic game, in my opinion, for them to win a playoff game.
Throw the jump ball to Mike Evans every play.
Yeah, so where was Mike Evans been all season with these 3 touchdown, 200-yard games?
Well, they were
really just running by people.
It looked like Bruce Arians' offense, which they haven't had. If they can do that and they get playoff Lenny, then yeah, it's a different thing. But I mean, it's possible they got hot at the last game. It took them all season. Maybe that's what you need to do with a 48-year-old quarterback. But
48.
But they've been pretty average to below average most of the year. So we'll see.
The only thing I trust them to do is if they're down by 1 score, just score with a minute and 30 seconds left. That's the only thing I trust the Buccaneers to do.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, this is a perfect spot for this game. The 1:00 game, just because Falcons, they don't have much to play for at all. They're also injured. I could care less about this game, really.
Agreed. So it's perfect time to go to the next one. So we got Patriots Bills. I think, at least for me, it's pretty obvious who's going to win this game. Patriots defense is really solid, but the Bills are one of the top dogs in the AFC, and they should handle business to close out the season. I don't think that anybody's going to get sat, especially after missing that last game. It's a lot of rest time in between. I mean, they played for what 10, not even like 8 minutes in that whole first quarter. So it's like they already had a rest game. Might as well play them, finish out the season strong, because I think they want to win that first seed anyway, right? I mean,
so the Bills
want to not win the first seed.
If the Bills win and the Chiefs and Bengals lose, then the Bills get the number 1 seed.
Why did the Bengals have to lose if the Bengals can't get the number 1 seed anymore?
They I don't know
what they were saying.
I'm reading it right here.
Oh, you believe everything you read?
Well, their game getting canceled, like, probably messes up some of the seeding.
And they officially called it a tie. Because the
That's
tie
another thing.
affects it.
If they call it a tie, or if they call it a no contest, and then it's just.
I thought they called it. I thought the game's just gone.
Yeah, but they have to determine how they're going the results.
With the records, yeah.
Because they're going to make it a tie, or they're going to make them just have one less game on the record and go by win percentage.
I just think since they called it the Bills, the Bengals are up. We should call it a Bengals dub. It is what it is. They were
Too bad it's not like MLB where they actually have rules in place for when this happens.
You think the more dangerous? Yeah, you would think the more dangerous sport would have something along the lines.
You can play 2 games in one day in the MLB.
No, but in MLB, if they call a game and it doesn't get, if they call a game, if it's before the 7th inning, then it's either thrown out or they got to replay it. If it's after the 7th inning, then they count it, and they said the game ends there, and whatever the score is, the score is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, the NFL probably would have. Well, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, well, maybe now they'll add a rule just for something, just for an abrupt. Doesn't matter what the reason is, but for abrupt stoppage of game.
The NFL just gives the win to the Bills, and when the Bengals go to complain, the Roger Goodell's just like, "Come on,
you did it."
Yeah. I have 2 perspectives on the game in particular between the Patriots and Bills. Is I think that the just the hard facts behind that whole situation that happened on Monday is that they are professionals and they have a game to play. So I think they will be mentally prepared. I would say, since it's looking like good news for Hamlin, they're probably going to be extra motivated. I think they would be either way, but it would probably be a lot harder if things weren't looking as promising for his health.
Mm-hmm.
So agreed.
It could go either way.
Well, this is also but we've seen a win and you're in for the Patriots.
For both teams, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it before in sports where players are maybe not teams as much, but players have something happen to a family member or whatever the case is, something outside of the game of sports, and they go off for a crazy sport,
Brett
crazy
Favre,
game.
Torrey Smith.
TJ Hawkinson this year has had 2 of his best games of his career, and he lost his brother, didn't he? Or that was Knox. I was Knox. I was tripping. Different tight end.
He's had a pretty good year, though.
What was that linebacker on the Buccaneers? He played like.
What was it? It wasn't Levante David or the 2 main guys.
No, this was
Devin White.
This was before Devin White.
I know he had a monster game, forced a fumble.
He had like 3 interceptions
or something like that. Yeah. He went off.
I can't remember his name though.
Yeah, my idea was just it could go either way, and you're right. The Patriots have something to play for, but I think the Bills will handle business.
Yeah, I hope they do because.
Well, especially like you said, his health seems to be improving, and if it turns out by the game time, like he's all good to go or like on his way there, I think the Bills will come out fired up.
Well, I know that the Bills have a division rival as a fan that day, the Miami Dolphins. Really need them to win.
Yeah.
Not looking bright for them.
Not a quarterback either. All right, well, the next game on the list, another division game coming up. We got the Vikings and Bears.
This game is useless.
Pretty
only
much
thing that
useless.
matters. Only thing that matters is that Justin Fields can break Lamar's rushing
Justin
record.
Fields isn't playing.
Yeah, he's not starting. Nathan Peterman is.
Oh, when did they announce that?
A couple days ago.
Didn't their coach Eberflus like 5 days ago say that he's playing?
I'm not sure. I just remember saying Peterman's back.
Yeah, they already have Peterman listed as the starter and everything.
Man, Justin Fields could get the record.
He'll probably do it again another year.
No, this is his only chance. Well, this game doesn't matter then, especially if Peterman's playing. Vikings are going to win 45-0.
The Vikings go up and down every week, so
Peterman.
This should be up this.
Peterman,
the Vikings are
the worst quarterback. The worst quarterback in NFL history.
I'm just saying.
How does he have a job?
Apparently, people just like him.
Like, why would you want him as your backup when Justin Fields is your quarterback?
I don't know. All I hear is John Gruden saying, Peterman.
Do you know what his career quarterback rating is?
2.5.
4.7.
32. He's thrown 3 touchdowns. Do you want to know how many interceptions he's thrown?
14.
I
Trevor?
was gonna say 17.
13.
Damn it.
Oh! Should have went
with your lucky number.
I know. Fuck.
I don't know too much about that.
Vegas. What?
What?
All right, on to the next one. This game's garbage.
On to the next one. Garbage.
A game with a little more juicy game coming up. We got the Ravens-Bengals, which I know they had talked about flexing into a night game, which they did not end up doing, clearly. Still got Tyler Huntley starting for the Ravens. If they got to lean more on their run game because that's what's working for them. I remember at one point, I can't remember which game it was, but J.K. Dobbins was averaging like 9.6 yards a carry, and they just stopped giving him the ball, which I just don't understand. I know everybody hates Greg Roman, but damn.
Does this game have any?
Here's the thing: it all depends on how they resolve
the Bills-Bengals.
So
the
that's what I'm saying. If the Ravens can't win the division, do they have any seeding? Like, are they locked to where they are? Like right now, they're the 6th seed. So can they become the 5th?
Yeah, so they're the 6th seed. If the Chargers lose to the Broncos and the Ravens win,
10-6,
then the Ravens could get the 5th seed. But the thing is, the Chargers-Broncos game is a 4:00 game, so they won't have any indication.
Jeez, they're still going to try very, very hard.
Yep. They're going to lose.
Most likely. Cincinnati's -7. I could see them winning by a touchdown.
Not to, dive overly into it, but they were talking about on the radio today. The Bengals are in 11 personnel, so that's 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back. Like 80% of the time, most of any team in the league. I heard this stat. I don't know if it's correct, but I'm pretty sure they said that Joe Burrow has thrown every single touchdown while in 11 personnel. He has the highest quarterback rating while in 11 personnel. And there's some other thing about it. And the Ravens against 11 personnel this year are like bottom third of the league in defending it.
So that's not good.
Well, do you blame them? They have Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. Then they have Hayden Hurst.
No. Yeah, I think I mean, the whole thing last year was people were saying that the Bengals needed to stop doing it because Burrow was getting sacked too much. But this year, I think the last 5 or 6 games, Burrow is only getting sacked like 1.5 times per game. in the beginning of the year, he's getting sacked like 3.5 times per game.
Yeah, O-line's improved, especially since the Super Bowl. It was unfortunate to watch for him. But
Yeah, I think
I did also see.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I saw that since the Ravens had traded for Roquan Smith, he has made a pretty big impact on their defense.
Well, I think he opened up a ton for Patrick Queen.
Yeah, certainly.
Lets him play more freely.
I was not a big fan of Patrick Queen when he got drafted. When he was on the last few years he's been on the Ravens. The thing is, though, so Queen, the Ravens after this season will have to declare if they want to keep his 5th-year option or not. Roquan Smith is a free agent. So are you going to give Roquan Smith, I don't know, $16, $18 million a year and then pick up Queen's 5th-year option, which is going to be, again, like $16, $18 million. Not this year, but not next year, but the following year. On top of the whole, you still don't know what you're going to do with Lamar.
I would say
There's a lot to deal with.
I would say it's hard to make any kind of signing decisions with other players till you figure out Lamar's situation. But I mean, it is what it is to a certain point. And I would say, let's say Lamar discussions. I don't know what the dates are and everything for when they have to. Before when does it? How long? What's the dates for when they
have to franchise tag him?
Yeah, well,
you can do it.
By the time it's franchise tag,
it's like in June, I think June or July.
Okay, so really that late?
I could be wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. I think a team can say they're tagging him, and then Lamar would have to sign it by then.
Yeah, because I think that like players have like agreed upon deals like right after the Super Bowl if they're a free agent.
It's the Tuesday after, isn't it?
Maybe not officially, but like a handshake type agreement.
Yeah, because they have the legal tampering period.
Yeah,
which doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
But also, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but I think the Ravens' track record, depending on the Lamar situation, is they don't have a problem spending money on linebackers. And why trade for Roquan Smith?
They have to re-sign him. And the thing is, he's played.
You could say it was a Super Bowl run trade, but they gave up.
They weren't that would be a. They would get called out so quick for that excuse because everyone would be like, "You really thought this was a Super Bowl team?"
Yeah, that's my thought process. Like, they're not obviously. I mean, they could with Lamar, but probably not.
I still think.
And Roquan Smith's still young. He's like 27.
He's young.
Yeah, 26.
I'm still standing by what I said that I think Lamar has played his last snap.
I said that when I was cooking dinner.
Yeah,
and then because like on the radio today, people were like, he would be a fool to not play in the playoff game. And if he believed everything he's been saying the last few years, there's no way he doesn't play. I'm just like, he hasn't played in what 5-6 weeks, so he's not going to play for a playoff. So by the time he plays in a playoff game, it'll be like 7 weeks, and he hasn't been practicing at all this time.
That's the weird part to me. Like, you're not like, I know the PCL injury can be tricky, or any kind of knee injury, but you're not throwing the ball at all.
And then, like, if he comes out and is just god awful in the playoffs, then if you're like the Ravens or any other team, you'd be like, you've been injured 2 years in a row. You've missed the end of the season 2 years in a row, and then you just looked like crap in the playoff game. We're gonna have to dock that price tag a little bit.
This will be the last thing I say about Lamar Jackson, and I've said it before, and we all agree. What they're saying is that he wants a guaranteed contract. And at that point, it's not even like I keep saying the Ravens would be fools not to sign him. But if he's stuck on a guaranteed contract, there's nothing the Ravens can do, and I would never sign him to a guaranteed contract.
If
And
he
he's
was
not gonna get
fully
that anywhere else.
guaranteed, I would do 3 years, $100 million, fully guaranteed.
The Kirk Cousins deal.
Just a little more sprinkled in.
Yeah. That's a tough one, especially with recent injuries, and I don't know. His arm isn't the most reliable of arms. But who else are you gonna sign? You got nobody else. So up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, some would say. Now you want to talk about a game that really doesn't matter. We're going to talk about the Texans and Colts at 1:00
Game of the
on
year.
Sunday.
Game of the year.
We're just gonna skip that one. There's no point even talking about it. Jeff Saturday's over here getting clowned by Thibodeau.
Oh,
I don't even know who that is.
There's one topic I want to talk about. Yeah. He Foles got wrecked. Now the snowman thing. At first, I didn't think it was that flagrant, but then I'm like, it looked like he was like hitting him with his arm. I was like, he has to know he's down. And then he went to the sideline while Nick Foles is still on the ground getting looked at trainers.
He did the sleep.
Like, what happens if Nick Foles was in a similar situation as what happened Monday?
I didn't know about the sleep stuff. I saw the snowman thing.
Well, then it's the whole fact that doubled down. Like, he could have just been like, I wasn't aware. I apologize. But he's just like
perma a-hole.
He was just like, I didn't know. And he went on this long tangent. Half of what he said, I didn't even understand. And then he was like, well, I don't even know who Jeff Saturday is.
Yeah. Okay. First off, nobody knows who you are. You're a rookie. I don't hate the Giants like the Cowboys, but I don't like them. And now I hate him.
Yeah.
Like, just why do people got to be a-holes?
Especially the first year in the league.
He is the same guy that his last year at Oregon, he came out with his own cryptocurrency.
He probably was the one who was back in FTX. Probably the one. Never mind.
He
probably
lost off his rookie deal already.
I don't know. He's just bad karma's got to be coming his way. I don't wish injury on anybody, but like I hope maybe like
first round exit in the playoffs would be nice. I mean, he only has like 5 total this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's played decently, but yeah, he's now.
Yeah, he's
I don't like
him
him.
well, but
and I know I got a soft spot for Nick Foles, but anybody who doesn't say that's messed up, I disagree.
Someone came out and it says it's a tell for how bad the Colts are, that like no offensive lineman on the Colts just came over and just wrecked Thibodeau.
Yeah,
give him the people's elbow.
I was gonna say I watched a highlight of I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't nearly as bad as that. And all 5 offensive linemen came and started pushing the guy and stuff. Like, that's what I want to see out of my offensive linemen. Like, even if it's not that bad, like, protect your quarterback at all costs. Like, you are their bodyguard on the field, not off the field, but like not just pass blocking, run blocking, but like physicality and stuff.
I want Jason Peters protecting my quarterback.
Exactly. Like
Jason Peters
would have killed him.
Jason Peters reminds me
to try to kill Baker.
Jason Peters
all those years ago
reminds me of in The Replacements, the lineman that's a bodyguard, and they're like, when they flip over Keanu's car, he's like, put his car back. They're like, no, and he pulls out a gun. He goes, oh, that's a nice Corvette you got there or whatever, and he just starts shooting up the Corvette, and he's like, keep your hands off my quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a John Favreau, right?
Favreau. No. He plays the linebacker.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Hey, and I didn't know Roy was the deaf tight end.
Oh, yeah, Roy.
I realized that last time I watched it.
He's the better athlete.
The last time I watched it.
Everyone always thinks that Jim is a better athlete than Roy, but they're wrong.
You ever seen Jim and the Leatherheads? Trash. George Clooney outclasses him.
Dang it, John Krasinski. You spoiled your tarnished your record.
I'm pretty sure John Krasinski is like the MVP of the league in that movie.
Yeah, he's the hot shot, new era football. It's a solid movie.
What's it called? Leatherhead?
Yeah, because they wear the leather
Like
helmets.
the 30s or 40s.
Oh, it's Mule. Yeah, okay. Back in the day, before they realized how bad it is to hit each other.
This is the unimportance of the Texans and Colts that we're now talking about Leatherheads.
Again, there's this guy, I can't remember his name. I follow on Instagram, and he makes like just funny videos, and he always does these like baseball in the 50s or football in the 40s or whatever. But the one he did for the football, he was like, a guy was getting like helped off the field, and one of the teams was like, "Oh no, Johnny, are you okay?" And he was like, "It's just a concussion. Thank God I didn't break my leg or something." Or I think he was like, "I took the hit straight to the head, so I'll be all right."
Good stuff.
Little do you know, in 40 years, you're gonna hate to laugh.
But yeah, next game.
Yeah, of the Snoozeville. Game that actually has some playoff implications. Jets and Dolphins, 1:00. Jets have had an up and down season. Got to figure out quarterback. Apparently, they're not giving up on Zach Wilson just yet. Guess we'll see what happens next year. They did find a defensive key piece in Sauce Gardner. Everybody's loved watching him all year.
But, Sauce Gardner, okay?
Gardner. Yeah, we have to see what happens with the quarterback. I think he got Teddy Bridgewater at the start, and I can't remember who their backup is. It's some guy. Even if the Dolphins wouldn't make to the playoffs, is Tua coming back this year? Because without Tua, I don't think they're.
I don't think he
playoff
hopes. I don't think he plays again this year. But I'm coming from the mindset. I feel like the Jets are kind of over their season at this point. So if I'm the Dolphins, I'm not playing around. I'm just coming out. I'm just run, and hopefully the Jets just are like, yeah, I'm done with this game.
And Tyreek Hill on a slant, let him take it 100 yards.
It doesn't seem like either team wants to make the playoffs. They're both on 5-game winning or losing streaks.
Yeah, honestly,
I think you contributed the Dolphins for Tua being out though, mostly.
But Breece Hall going down really doomed their season.
Yeah, I agree.
Not even. He was like their quarterback play.
Well, he
was their main offensive weapon.
They leaned so heavily on Breece Hall. Yeah, he was their
opens up the pass. Well, yeah, that opens up.
He was their home run threat.
Yeah, they need to figure out the quarterback situation.
Say because Garrett Wilson looks like a solid first-round pick wide receiver. They still have Elijah Moore. I don't know what they're doing. What happened with all that? And Robert Saleh kept going back and forth with his comments on how he wanted to get the ball, but they never got him the ball. And when Breece Hall comes back next year, I mean, maybe Zach Wilson improves in the offseason. Improves their defense.
Nobody on the team
cut your losses from Zach Wilson.
They're not going to though.
And
what they say.
No, if that would be the Jets thing to do. You got to cut your losses, find the quarterback for next year, whether it's in the draft or in free agency, and move on. The longer you linger on the Zach Wilson thing, the longer you're going to hurt the franchise.
Yeah. Well, so Dolphins want to make the playoffs. They've got to win. Good luck to Miami. Next game up, another crap game with no importance whatsoever. Panthers and Saints. Division game where nobody's going to the playoffs.
You know what I want to see? I just want to see the Saints let Taysom Hill play quarterback the entire game.
Entire game? He's going to throw 6 picks.
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, I think the Panthers have been playing pretty well lately. They almost pulled it out against Tampa Bay. They just gave up those big plays to Mike Evans.
I don't know what their cornerbacks were thinking.
Yeah. It was bad, though.
Maybe
he's just streaking by.
Sam Darnold's look good. I think, honestly, I would sign Hire Wilkes as like their head coach for the next few years.
Did you see?
Or maybe, I don't know, draft a later round quarterback and maybe have some competition with Sam Darnold. He's looked pretty good.
Did you see
He hasn't
Darnold's
good.
projections if he played a full season?
No.
He would have been like, so it's just projections, so take it, with a grain of salt. But he would have been like 10th in touchdowns. I think it was like 11th in accuracy, and then 3rd in quarterback rating.
Yeah, they haven't asked him to do too much. The first 4 games he started, he didn't complete more than 15 passes, 1 touchdown in each game. His completion percentage was anywhere between 57 and 68. No more than 250 yards passing. So I think he played well, all things considered. And then against Tampa Bay, he played really well. He had 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't know. Wilkes has looked. I think that's been the biggest change. And they've been able to. Their defense is solid, and they are able to run the ball with their 2 backs. I don't know. I would give Darnold a chance in the offseason at least.
Yeah. Their season finished off better than it would have if Rule was still the head coach.
That's for sure.
On to the next game. Browns and Steelers. Matters for the Steelers, not so much the Browns. A lot of Steelers fans had given up hope a long time ago, not realizing that they can still make the playoffs.
Yeah, Steelers need to win, and then they need the Patriots and the Dolphins to lose to get in.
Which is all possible.
Did you see Myles Garrett came out and he said he's like 95% chance not signing with the Browns next year? not re-signing with the Browns.
That's a weird thing.
And then I ask you.
And then he said that he's like, I want to play for a team that like is like rooting for me or something.
Well, maybe if you didn't bash other players in the head with helmets, you'd have more supporters.
Oh, did I say Garrett? I'm sorry. I meant Clowney.
Oh, David. Yeah, well, Clowney.
Nobody thought he was coming back.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even came back this year.
That was a waste. But yeah, I think what?
That was a waste.
I think the Browns can still play spoiler. Deshaun Watson just hasn't been it this year. Just has a lot of rust to knock off, but the Browns can still lean on Nick Chubb, and their defense isn't awful. You would assume, though, a Mike Tomlin-led team is going to come out just firing on all cylinders, ready to go.
Kenny Pickett looked really good there last week. That 1 touchdown he threw on the run to Najee Harris. Ooh, man, what placement.
Well, I think Harris is playing really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Pickett was lifted by that last play. Other than that, he didn't really do anything all game.
They have played their best when he has started, though.
Did you see the Browns game?
He only has 6 touchdowns to 9 interceptions on the year. Najee Harris has been playing better the last 8 games. I think he has at least a touchdown or 100 yards in 8 straight games.
Not bad.
Their defense has also, make sure I'm not wrong about this. Yeah, their defense has stepped up as well.
TJ Watt,
7. Yeah, yep. Since giving up 37 to the Bengals, they've given up 17, 16, 16, 16, 10, 13.
And I was there for that 37 to the Bengals, and even if Joe Mixon didn't get hurt, P. Ryan was on a freaking tear. I was there just like, no way. The former commander goes off when I'm sitting here watching. And, of course, I didn't bench him in fantasy because Mixon was healthy at the time.
Did you see the Browns game last week where Watson was scrambling around, and then he just threw the ball to the offensive lineman?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was also a time where he should have gotten sacked. So we got 4 sacks in the first half just to hit him 4 times and let him keep going in the second half. The one guy, I think it's Agba. I I think that's how you say his name. Literally hits Deshaun Watson. He assumes the ball's out of his hands, so he pulls up, and Deshaun Watson just looks at him and runs away for a first down. I'm like, hey, come on, bro. Like, that's really like it should have been on the come on, man highlight section on ESPN.
Yeah, he's always been good at making those miraculous type plays. That one just had a twist at the end.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the Steelers should be able to pull it out.
You know what? If offensive
Could be a good
linemen
game.
are behind the line of scrimmage and the play has been going on for more than 10 seconds, they should be able to catch the ball.
Bring it up with the rules committee.
Take it up with the commissioner.
Yeah, see what he has to say about it. Good old Raja. Fucking chode. Embarrassed my name.
This podcast is blacklisted forever.
Oh, Goodell's the worst. Nobody likes him. Name one good person that says a good thing about Goodell. The only thing good about Goodell is his last name has the word good in it. That's all he ever gets.
You're reaching, but I'll allow it.
All right, so I'm taking Steelers. We don't really do that many picks, but I'm still taking Steelers.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't mind Tomlin extending his streak of not having a losing season.
He's avoided it so far. He could have happened last week.
Yeah, unless the Browns come out with able to stop the run, which they haven't done this year, and they can sack Pickett a couple times, make him uncomfortable. I tend to agree.
All right. As it for the 1:00 games, on to the 4:25. We got Chargers Broncos. Chargers already clinched the playoffs, but the seeding matters. We talked about that earlier with the Ravens. We all know the Broncos are complete trash. I'm really curious to see what they do with Russell Wilson. I mean, they're okay. Their defense is good. Patrick Surtain, they traded Chubb, but they still got some solid pieces. Guess. I like the Chargers still. I know they're cursed, Ted would say, but I mean, if they can get hot here in the playoffs, Mike Williams had arguably the best catch of the season. You could put it up there with Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs. That one-handed grab looked like he was a ballerina spinning the way he got his feet down. It was very majestic, I would say.
Yeah, I mean that's how he plays.
It's his game.
He has great body control when he goes up in the air. Just doesn't know how to land.
Yeah, without hurting himself.
I would love to have more. Good.
I was just saying, I think the Chargers are going to win this one outright.
I think they should. Denver's offense hasn't shown anything all year. It was a close game earlier in the year. It was 19-16. Chargers won that one. I think the Chargers will win. They're in the playoffs. I'm happy Justin Herbert's finally in the playoffs. It's weird because they're on a 4-game win streak. Probably going to be on a 5-game winning streak going into the playoffs. Justin Herbert hasn't really played that hero type ball on this winning streak. He had 2 games with a touchdown, 2 games with no touchdowns and a couple picks. Last week he had 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. His completion percentage has been good. He's throwing for a ton of yards still. But their defense has also turned around, which finally their head coach is supposed to be a defensive guy, and he hasn't proven it in 2 years. But they've also not played – a win's a win, but they've played Miami, which was Tua in that game. Yeah, it was. So that was a good win. But then Titans with – I don't know who the Titans was. Titans been struggling all year, sorry. Then they played the Colts. And then they played the lowly Rams, who, I don't care about that 50-point game. They sucked all year.
I just think Chargers will know if they have to win or not by this. The Ravens game will be over. So the Chargers will know if they need to actually play or not. But I think regardless, they win. Maybe if the Ravens lose, the Chargers can rest their starters towards the end. Who knows? But like we've all said, the Broncos are just not good right now, and the team. They already fired their coach, but the team I think is just wants to get out of the season.
Yeah, I mean, if they end up having the 5th seed, they'll play.
Titans or Jaguars.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm mostly just happy that Justin Herbert's in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's go, Hubbard. I'm hoping good things for them in the playoffs, just because me and Trevor Herbert fans, not so much West Side. He's a Burrow guy, ice cold. One last thing too about the Broncos. What do they do here with Russell Wilson in this contract? They just got to keep rocking,
They have to
with
him.
Just ride with him for the next couple of years and just deal with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot of money. Ooh, it sucks to suck.
He might turn it around next year. I mean, new coach. Who knows?
Yeah. They have to deal with that, and also finding out that the Commanders might sell for more than they did.
Well, I mean, for all the crap that people give Washington, they've always been a fairly high on the team value list.
Mm-hmm. Our whole division is on the top 10 sports franchises in America list.
The rich get richer.
That's how it goes. Speaking of the NFC Beast, on to New York and Philadelphia, a rematch.
The only thing that matters about this game is it sounds like the Giants didn't even practice with their starters today. The first team was on first team.
I thought Daboll just said that he's going to play the starters.
He said it seemed like that immediately after the game last week. Let me make sure, but I'm pretty sure he said we're going to do what's best for the Giants and our players, which sounds like probably resting. And I'm pretty sure they practice without their starters.
Does Hurts play?
Yeah, he won't reveal the plan. Well, that's the other important thing. I think he was listed as he did the first team walkthrough yesterday, which he didn't do last week, and today he did the contact drills, which he didn't do last week. From all accounts from media that's gotten to see the portion that they're allowed to, he's looked really good throwing the ball, just like normal Hurts. And he did the contact drills today. There was a video that showed him doing it, and they were like, oh, they went easier on him than the other players. Which probably should anyways for your franchise quarterback. And the other quarterbacks...
Yeah, but that's why they wear red jerseys.
Yeah, and the other quarterbacks, they did the same thing. And it was just, they were flinging pads. It was a fumble drill. But he was listed as limited again today, but he got the first team reps. So I really hope he's playing. I think he's probably, unless this injury was like way worse than they're leading it on to believe, they're leading all of us on to believe. It just doesn't make sense. He finished the game against the Bears. I know adrenaline's involved, but he was throwing the ball really well at the end of that game. It's been 3 weeks since the injury, 2.5 weeks. He's practiced, even if it's limited, he's been practicing for a week. He said in an interview the first week of the injury that he tested his arm out and he was throwing fine. So I know the injury is not the AC joint on the outside, it's the PC joint that's connected to your collarbone to your sternum. So it's really a chest injury, which means they're not concerned about his throwing. It's more of a contact worry. But if the Giants are playing their backups, the Eagles offensive line, they don't need to
run the ball.
Just run the ball. And all these people that are like, the Eagles are going to have to play a different offense than they have all year because they're concerned about Jalen Hurts. If he's out there, it means he's 100%. And they can still do all the read options. The Bears played it differently than everybody did all year. They kind of bracketed him to make him run inside. Now the Eagles have seen it. They should be able to adjust to that. And you still can't ignore the threat of the run with Jalen Hurts. Maybe he'll hand it off more. but that's still like somebody has to account for him, because if somebody doesn't, then he'll just take it and there's no contact to be had and he'll go down the field for 20 yards. So the concern isn't there for me. If he plays, that means he's 100%. It sounds like he's going to play. And I do think we need the first seed. Some people say they can play in the wild card or whatever, all that stuff. I think it needs to come through Philly.
Going back to Philly.
Yeah, but that's my
Philly.
2 cents.
Yeah, I think
probably just being lean. Oh, go ahead.
I think the Giants are playing it safe because they're basically stuck where they're at, and the Eagles they need to get the win. Don't want to risk anything with Dallas. Get home field advantage through the playoffs. Get the bye week for extra rest. And
treat it as a tune-up game. Make sure you get the win, but they need a good tune-up game too.
Yeah, they need to get over. I think these need to, get past that Saints game and move on.
Yep. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think they're leaning more towards the precautionary side too for the longevity of the entire playoffs. More than if they're just being cautious, because Jalen Hurts is the guy, and we've seen your team without him, and got a good team. I think he's a key piece of that puzzle.
I'll take him with Tennessee.
It's one giant puzzle piece. That is the puzzle.
Huge puzzle piece. Literally, it's a 10-piece puzzle, and he's 5 pieces.
It's no piece puzzle. It's one piece. It comes out of the board, and it's just Jalen
it's
Hurts.
an anime. Nice. Next game, big playoff implications. Not for the Rams though, but for the Seahawks. I like Baker a lot, as you guys know, and I've liked what he's done coming over to LA. Not really know much about him. Just came over, so he wants to play, wants to start, slaying that thing, doing what he can. Show he still has an arm. I think the Seahawks have had a little bit of a rocky past few weeks. They've lost like 4 games, something like 3 or 4 games.
They have so much trouble.
5 out of 7.
They have so much trouble stopping the run.
Yeah, so Cam Akers is also looking good there in LA. The defense shows up, like Jalen Ramsey's been. I feel like people haven't been talked about it much either. Jalen Ramsey's not had the best year. He's made some plays, but he's also been burnt a lot, and he's been looking kind of lost out there in a lot of the highlights I've seen.
Yeah.
The whole lockdown corner, best corner in the league, it's not him right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's hard to play corner when your team's not competitive. I don't care at all about the Rams. The Seahawks, they've been competitive in the games that they've lost over this 7-game streak. The only game they lost by double digits was against the Chiefs. All the other games were single-score games. Their defense just has been lackluster during that streak, and I know Kenneth Walker was beat up and the run game wasn't really there like it was earlier in the season. They had to rely more on Geno Smith, and he was turning the ball over a little bit more.
Geno Smith, comeback player of the year.
No, I'm not getting that.
Do you know Geno Smith only needs like 120 passing yards to set Seattle's all-time passing record?
No, I didn't know that. I was assuming Russell Wilson had it.
You seem wrong. Well, he does have it, but Geno Smith likely is going to break it with this extra week.
Oh, yeah, he's got 4,000 pass yards this year. He's had a great year.
Wait, with the extra week, though? He didn't say the...
Yeah, I mean, he's got the 70% completion percentage is crazy. 4,000 pass yards, 29 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. If he has a clean game against a poor Rams team, he could end up having 30-something touchdowns, single-digit interceptions. That's an MVP caliber season.
He could potentially finish with over 4,000 pass yards, 70 completion percentage, and a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. I wonder how many quarterbacks have done that.
Aaron Rodgers probably a couple times. Maybe not 70%. That's hard to do in the NFL. But yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate the Seahawks had a good year compared to what we thought, and it's their fate does not lie in their own hands. They need the Lions to win. So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't mind seeing them in the playoffs. It's a good story, but I don't have a lot of faith in them.
It's funny they need the Lions to win, but the Lions need them to lose.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for the Seahawks, but yeah, they need the Packers to not win.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for the Rams so the Lions can make it. I want to see the Lions go. Because, if you want to piss on the porch like a puppy, stay back with the big dogs eat. I actually got that shirt. I got that on a shirt for Christmas.
Really?
Yeah. Because I said, after I watched that episode, I walked around work saying it for 3 weeks. So my one friend found it, sent it to Anna, and Anna got it for me for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't beat a good sweatshirt.
I might wear it tonight. Anywho, good old another division game, same division, Cardinals Niners. Doesn't really matter for the Niners. They won the division. I don't know about the seeding wise though. If they want a better seed,
they need the Eagles to lose.
But then also
they will be the first seed if they win.
Well, not the Cowboys if they win.
The Cowboys need the 49ers and Eagles to lose.
Got it. All right, cool. Great. Love that. 2 against 1. F the Cowboys.
Yeah, but
Cardinals are a joke. Is there anything worth discussing? Because we already talked about the demise of their season several times on the
not
podcast.
Really. We talked about it a couple times. It's the same thing that's been happening for a few years, just to the most extreme extent, and that's it.
Did anybody get a chance to watch the in-season Hard Knocks? Because I'm probably gonna go back and watch it just because I want a lot. But
I want to watch it just to see, but I do not.
I want to see if there's anything about the internal implosion. I'm sure they wouldn't put too much out there for the public to see, but I'm sure you might be able to catch a glimpse or two of some nonsense going on in good old Arizona. Yep. Dry shit, team, dry area.
49ers should be able to take care of business.
They should. Their defense did get tested not too long ago, though, didn't they?
Well, against the Raiders with us.
The Raiders, yeah, Stidham. That's who it was. Yeah, Stidham. He likes his ham.
Yeah, they gave up. They almost lost the game, but Bosa forced the lineman into his face, and they got an interception.
Yeah, of course, Devontae Adams wants to go off the next week after he gets 3 points.
Yeah.
Anywho, now on to the America's Game of the Week. Just kidding.
It would have been nice if the Commanders could have beaten the Browns last week.
It would have been real nice. That's all they had to do to be a competitive playoff team. But no, you just couldn't do it. There's still some things to pay attention to in this game, though.
Spoiler alert! I would love it.
Exactly. Which is, we can't go to the playoffs, we love to be the spoiler, especially against the Cowboys. And then for us, it's also really cool that Sam Howell is starting, so we get to see him against one of the top defenses in the league. If he comes out slinging it, it gives us a little more hope for next year. I still think it's a position that needs to be addressed in either free agency and/or draft.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, that's a tough spot for the Cowboys because there's no film on Howell besides college film and the preseason, which doesn't really help. And he played well in the preseason. And he's got mobility, which is always hard to play
That's
against.
what I was about to bring up. It's that mobility.
And
he can throw farther than Heineke.
He can throw further than Heineke, and I would say he's probably more athletic.
More athletic than Wentz and Heineke.
Yeah,
combined.
In the preseason, he had a couple of nice rushing touchdowns, if I remember correctly.
He also had a game where he had 3 interceptions in a row.
Well, that's to be expected. It could go either way.
Yeah.
Your defense is good enough to give the Dallas troubles. Their offense hasn't been anything like world beaters, I wouldn't say. And their defense also has fell off the second half of the season. It's still a good defense, but not what it was earlier in the season. It could go one of two ways. It could be a blowout for Dallas or Washington could make it a competitive game and win.
I just want to see Sam Howell just, light it up.
Yep. I'll be excited to watch that one.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch that for that, and obviously to see the spoils, because I've already accepted, while I was at the stadium, that we weren't going to the playoffs. So I was looking forward to the new quarterback. Hopefully, it can be something long term, and then to ruin Dallas's playoff.
Yep.
First seed options. I still think they'll get knocked out first round. Either way. Anyway, so probably the most exciting game I would put it the most exciting game of the games this week at the Lions and Packers. Lions and Packers and Bears. Oh my, go Lions! Green Bay has turned it around a little bit. We talked about him earlier with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Don't forget AJ Dillon too is actually turning around a little bit.
He's the worst goal line back in the league, it seems like.
Yeah, he did well for me in fantasy. That's all I gotta say. Running heavy for the Lions, but their defense needs some work to give up. But I think they're still probably the league worst in yards and points.
I just don't have faith. Well, the last time these two teams played, the Lions defense played one of their best games. Didn't they have like 2 or 3 goal line stands? And they picked off.
Aaron Rodgers threw two picks in the red zone.
Yeah. I just don't trust this Lions defense. But I think it's going to be a great game to watch. It's two of the better offenses in the league. Just the Packers defense has been trending up the last few weeks.
Yeah, and I also give Jair Alexander the smallest amount of credit for holding Justin Jefferson to one catch, 15 yards. That one game, he wants to talk about flukes. That was a fluke.
He talked the talk and he walked the walk. So
for once, one time. Literally, that's it.
Hope you know that reference. No?
Wish I had a cricket button.
Giants, help us, God. No?
It sounds like, is it the Little Giants?
Yeah, it's the Little Giants.
The
last game of the year, and they had that halftime speech, and there's like, one time.
Well, I'm personally against Rick Moranis, so I don't watch any of his movies anymore.
Why are you against him?
I'm just kidding. That's a joke. He had to retire because he had family issues.
God, that was the worst take of all time.
His wife died.
Nah, I know. I love Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in a while. It'd be nice to watch that one. I did watch The Replacement. All football movies are good in my opinion. Replacements. That was the other day. But
all of his movies are great.
Yeah, so should be a decent weekend of football to close out the regular season. Playoffs are coming. Obviously, best time of year. Playoff football. Even if your team's not in it, it's still exciting to watch. Don't sulk on your couch. Grab some beer and be cheerful.
I remember, still to this day, one of my favorite playoff moments, non-Titans, was that Eagles-Vikings 2008 wild card. Such a good game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Eagles-Vikings 2017, which, aside from winning the Super Bowl that year, that Vikings game was magical. We blew the brakes off of them.
2017, I literally went into every Eagles game knowing they were going to win.
Well, I didn't.
I did.
And
I had so much confidence.
The Vikings scored. They were up 7-0.
And then
they
got crushed.
They were driving again, and then they threw a pick six, and the rest was history. That was a fabulous game.
No, the 2008 Vikings-Eagles game, you had the Chris Clemens, Batista bomb, Tavares Jackson on was it the Asante Samuel pick six?
Yep. That was really the only thing that happened that game.
So that was a good game.
Yeah.
Back then when Wawa still would make me a 3-foot hoagie.
When there was a Wawa.
R.I.P.
Pizza Wawa hoagie.
But yeah,
I haven't had one in a long time. I should get one.
Finally, go to the Wawa.
Get a meatball sub, some some chips and a beverage, watch some football.
Can't beat
Maybe I'll do
that.
that for.
Oh man,
We're watching the Titans game, right?
Yeah.
If we
Titans
don't have
Jags.
food plans, maybe I'll do that on my way over.
Not a bad idea. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good slate of games. I usually give the NFL a lot of crap, but I think they have this last week lined up pretty nicely.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I said, we all know how it has been a losing end, but time to crown this year's champ.
All right, pressure's on. How's he gonna close out the show?
Well, I would like to first give a shout out to all people who won the fantasy championship this weekend. Feels nice. Feels great if you did. If not, better luck next year.
I did not.
Maybe try more doing 100 waiver wire pickups throughout the season at 4 a.m. Might help you out. No, but on a real note, thanks for watching. We do appreciate all of you. Give us a like, share, comment if you haven't already. Still haven't seen that many comments. We'd like to talk football with y'all. Unless you don't know what you're talking about, then stay away.
Nah, we like anything.
Well, Trevor's right. He'll correct you. It'll be fine.
Tell us what your favorite sub is.
That's not a bad.
Like
question.
a sub, like a hoagie or
Yeah,
hot
like
hoagie?
a hoagie.
We're talking about hot. Are we separating cold, hot, or all together?
Anything.
Not
you.
Favorite?
Not
fans.
you.
I thought we were discussing. I thought we were to discuss ours first, at least.
No.
Well, I'm still saying
I'll
mine.
take any comment.
A nice fat juicy meatball sub. You can
Now
beat
this
that.
channel.
Try it.
The channel has
What,
changed forever.
is it food
after
now? We're a food channel now. Is that what
that.
you're saying?
We can do whatever the fans want us to be. I'll talk about subs. Subs and football. That's the show.
I mean, they go hand in hand. All right. Well, this has been No Interference. This is the Bulls signing out. West Side, Big Sass. Adios.
I say adios.
We changed it up. I thought.
See you later.
All right, well, we can just scratch that part. We can try it again.
No.
I actually did forget the ending.
Roll with it.
I forgot that we don't all say like we say
Taylor
goodbye.
said
We don't
peace.
all say like
Peace.
You gotta say aggressive. That's how my dad says. Like I say it just like pops.